Until some month ago, Europe tended to look at the farmers who irrigate in a bad way, because there's this sort of myth that farmers are those who use the most water in the planet. And it's true, but farmers use water to produce food. And I don't think that is a more noble way of using water than to produce food for 7 billion people that we have now in the planet. And we will have to produce for 9 billion predicted on 2050. So Europe started to understand that you need water to increase your production, especially if you want to produce more in the same land, because there's not much land available in the world, especially in Europe, that you can expand agriculture production. You have to increase the production in the land you are using. Just to give you a figure, in Portugal, the value added, when you compare irrigated land to rain-fed land, the irrigated land provides a gross value added, which is 6 times higher than in rain-fed. So if you have a higher gross value added, it means that you produce more or you produce better. And irrigation does not mean that you spoil water or you don't use it correctly. There is an agro-environmental measure which farmers are asked to use water the most efficiently they can use it. And how do they do it? They have probes on the field. The probes monitor constantly the soil moisture and tells the farmer if he needs to irrigate more or irrigate less. Of course, you have to know the weather forecast for the next days in order to understand how the water is going to behave on the soil and to calculate how much you have to irrigate. And then we tend to use satellite images to understand how is the crop behaving. And you can see that in some areas of the crop, there are some stresses. And then you go to that place of the crop and you try to understand what the stress is. So you have to change some of the parts of the equipment in order to increase your water use efficiency. So I think that with that effort that the farmers are making, Europe is starting to be convinced that farmers can use water efficiently and there's no harm of promoting irrigation in Europe. Because farmers irrigate, the water is consumed by the plants, is given back to the atmosphere, goes to the soil. There's a cycle. You don't lose the water. And sometimes if you store the water in public dams and you provide the water to the farmers and the crops, it's a way of using the water of the rain more efficiently and having not many loss of water that sometimes go to the rivers or they go to the sea, and it can provide a higher value added to farmers, regions, rural areas. There's no problem of irrigating.